Jai Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.
Vandeham Shiguro Shiyatha Parakamalam Shigurun Vaishnavam Sya Shirupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirada Krishna Varan Sahagana Lalita Shivashikam Vidam Sya Om Jnana Timaranda Shagyana Chana Shalakaya Chakshurunudam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhishtam Supurakam Guruganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chindya Chindya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shirupa Patanugam Govinda Bidam Ujvalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyad Bhagavad Prem Nawe Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchanda Varanam Balarka Chilanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyambudim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vanditam Shubharam Madhika Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanshakaupatarubhyasya Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Nama. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Prabhupada. This is Madhya-lila chapter 6, the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And I'll start with text 184. Prabhu ko he Bhattacharya na kora vishmoy Bhagavane Bhakti Parama Purushartha hoy. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then told him, do not be astonished. Actually, devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the highest perfection of human activity. Atmarama Parajanta Kore Ishwara Bhajan Aiche Achintya Bhagavaner Gunagan. Even the self-satisfied sage has performed devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Such are the transcendental qualities of the Lord. They are full of inconceivable spiritual potency. Atmaramascha munayo nigranta apiyorukrame korvantiya haitukim bhaktim itam bhuta guno hari. Those who are self-satisfied and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such attractive features. Shuni Bhattacharya Kohe, Shuna Mahashai, Eishlokera Arta, Shunite Banchahoy. After hearing the Atmarama verse, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya addressed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My dear sir, please explain this verse. I have a great desire to hear your explanation of it. Prabhu ko he tumi ki arta kora taha age shuni pache ame koriba arta jeva kichujani. The Lord replied, first let me hear your explanation. After that I shall try to explain what little I know. Shuni Bhattacharya shloka korila bhyakyan tarka shastra mata utai bibida bidan. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then began to explain the Atmarama verse, and according to the principles of logic, he put forward various propositions. Naba bida arta koila shastra mata loya shuni prabhu kohe kichu ishad hashiya. The Bhattacharya explained the Atmarama verse in 9 different ways on the basis of scripture. After hearing his explanation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, smiling a little, began to speak. So Mahaprabhu is smiling. Bhattacharya jane tumi sakat brihaspati shastra vyakya korite aiche karo nahi shakti. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Bhattacharya, you're exactly like Brihaspati, the priest of the heavenly kingdom. Mahaprabhu said, my dear Bhattacharya, you are exactly like Brihaspati, the priest of the heavenly kingdom. Indeed, no one within this world has the power to explain the scriptures in such a way. Kintu tumiyarta koile panditya pratibhai ihabai shlokara achyara abhipray. My dear Bhattacharya, you have certainly explained this verse by the process of your vast learning, but you should know that besides this scholarly explanation, there is another purport to this verse. Bhattacharya prartanate prabhu vyakya koila taranaba arta madhye ek na chunila. Upon the request of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to explain the verse without touching the 9 explanations given by the Bhattacharya. Atmaramascha shloke ekadasha parahoy pritak koila padera arta nischoy. There are 11 words in the Atmarama verse, and Mahaprabhu explained each word one after the other. The words in the Atmarama verse are Atmarama, Cha, Munaya, Nigranta, Api, Urukrame, Kurvanti, Ahaitukim, Bhaktim, Itam Bhuta Guna, and Hari. Tat Tat Para Pradanye Atmarama Milaya, Ashtadasharta Koila Abhiprayaloya. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took each word specifically and combined it with the word Atmarama. He thus explained the word Atmarama in 18 different ways. Bhagavan Tara Shakti Tara Gunagan Achintya Prabhava Tiner Najai Katan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His different potencies and His transcendental qualities all have inconceivable prowess. It is not possible to explain them fully. Anyajat Sadhya Sarana Kore Achadan Etine Hare Siddhas Sadakaraman. These 3 items attract the mind of a perfect student engaged in spiritual activities and overcome all other processes of spiritual activity. Spiritual activities other than Bhakti Yoga are divided into 3 categories. Speculative activity conducted in the Jnana Sampradaya, learned scholars. Fruitive activity conducted by the general populace according to Vedic regulations. And the activities of transcendentalists not engaged in devotional service. There are many different branches of these categories, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by His inconceivable potencies and transcendental qualities, attracts the mind of the student engaged in the activities of karma, jnana, yoga, and so forth. The Supreme Lord is full of inconceivable potencies which are related to His person, His energies, and His transcendental qualities. All of these are very attractive to the serious student. Consequently, the Lord is known as Krishna, the all-attractive one. Sanakare Sukadeva Tahate Brahman Ematanana Arta Korana Vyakyan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the meaning of the verse by giving evidence concerning Sukadeva Goswami and the 4 rishis, Sanaka, Sanat Kumar, Sanatana, and Sanandana. Thus the Lord gave various meanings and explanations. Shuni Bhattacharya Mane Hoila Chamatkar Prabhu ke Krishna Jane Kore Apanadikar. Upon hearing Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atmarama verse, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was struck with wonder. He then understood Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be Krishna in person, and he thus condemned himself in the following words. Ihota Sakat Krishna Muina Janiya Maha Aparada Koinu Garbita Hoya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is certainly Lord Krishna himself. Because I could not understand him and was very proud of my own learning, I have committed many offenses. Atma ninda kore loila prabhura sharan kripa koribare tabe prabhura hoilaman. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya denounced himself as an offender and took shelter of the Lord desired to show him mercy. Nijarupa Prabhu Tare Koraila Darshan Chaturbuja Rupa Prabhu Hoila Takan. To show him mercy, Mahaprabhu allowed him to see his Vishnu form. Thus he immediately assumed 4 hands. Madhumati, how are you? Dekaila Tarayage Chaturbujaru Pache Shama Bamshi Mukha Swakiya Swarup. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first showed him the 4-handed form and then appeared before him in his original form of Krishna with a blackish complexion and a flute to his lips. Deki Sarvabhauma Dandavat Koripadi Puna Uti Stuti Kore Dui Kore Judi. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw the form of Lord Krishna manifested in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately fell down flat to offer him obeisances. Then he stood up and with folded hands began to offer prayers. Prabhura Kripaya Tara Srila Sabtatva Nama Prema Dana Adi Varnena Mahatva. By the mercy of the Lord, all truths were revealed to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he could understand the importance of chanting the holy name and distributing love of Godhead everywhere. Shata Shloka Koila Ek Dandana Jaite Brihaspati Taiche Shlok Napare Korite. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya composed 100 verses in a very short time. Indeed, not even Brihaspati, the priest of the heavenly planets, could compose verses as quickly. Shuni Suke Prabhutare Koila Alingan Bhattacharya Prema Beshe Hoila Achetan. After hearing the 100 verses, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was immediately overwhelmed in ecstatic love of Godhead and fell unconscious. Ashrustamba Pulak Shveda Kampa Tarahari Nachegai Kande Pare Prabhu Paradori. Out of ecstatic love of God, the Bhattacharya shed tears and his body was stunned. He exhibited an ecstatic mood, and he perspired, shook, and trembled. He sometimes danced, sometimes chanted, sometimes cried, and sometimes fell down to touch the lotus feet of the Lord. Deke Gopinatha Charya Harashitaman Bhattacharya Nritya Deke Hase Prabhurgan. While Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was in this ecstasy, Gopinathacharya was very pleased. The associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all laughed to see the Bhattacharya dance so. Gopinathacharya Kohe Mahaprabhu Prati Sevaracharya Prabhu Koile Egati. Gopinathacharya told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "My Lord, you have brought all this upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Prabhu Kohe Tumi Bhakta Tomara Sangha Hoite Jagannath Ihare Kripa Koila Balomate." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "You are a devotee because of your association. Lord Jagannath has shown him mercy." Tabe Bhattacharya Prabhu Shushtira Korila Stira Hoya Bhattacharya Bahustuti Koila. After this, Mahaprabhu pacified the Bhattacharya, and when he was quieted, he offered many prayers to the Lord. Jagat Nishtari Le Tumi Seho Alpakarya Amal Udari Le Tumi E Shakti Ascharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, "My dear Lord, you have delivered the entire world, but that is not a very great task. However, you have also delivered me, and that is certainly the work of very wonderful powers. Tarka Shastre Jada Ami Jaiche Loha Pinda Amadrabaile Tumi Pratapa Prachanda Tarka Shastre Jadami Jaiche Loha Pinda Amadrabaile Tumi Pratapa Prachanda. I had become dull-headed due to reading too many books on logic. I had become dull-headed due to reading too many books on logic. Consequently, I had become like an iron bar. Nonetheless, you have melted me, and therefore your influence is very great. Stuti Sunima Prabhu Nija Basa Aila Bhattacharya Acharya Dware Bhikya Koraila. After hearing the prayers offered by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence, and the Bhattacharya through Gopinathacharya induced the Lord to accept lunch there. Aradin Prabhu Gela Jagannath Darshana Korila Jagannatha Shayotane. Early the following morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see Lord Jagannath in the temple, and he saw the Lord rise from his bed. Pujari Aniyamala Prasadana Dila Prasadana Mala Paya Prabhu Harsha Hoila. The Lord then presented him with garlands and prasadam The priest then presented Mahaprabhu with garlands and prasadam that had been offered to Lord Jagannath. This pleased Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much. Se prasadana mala anshale bandiya Bhattacharya Gariyaila Tuara Jukta Hoya. Carefully tying the prasadam and garlands in a cloth, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hastened to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Arunodaya Kale Hoila Prabhura Agaman Se Kale Bhattacharya Hoila Jagaran. He arrived at the Bhattacharya's house a little before sunrise, just when the Bhattacharya was arising from bed. So he arrived when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was just getting out of bed. Krishna Krishna's Svuta Kohe Bhattacharya Jagila Krishna Nam Shuni Prabhur Ananda Badila. As Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya rose from bed, he distinctly chanted, Krishna Krishna. Lord Chaitanya was very pleased to hear him chant the holy name of Krishna. Bahire Prabhur Teho Paila Darashan Astebhyaste Ashikoila Charana Bandhan. The Bhattacharya noticed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu outside, and with great haste he went to see him and offered prayers unto his lotus feet. Basite asana diya duheta masila prasarana kuli prabhu tarahate dila. The Bhattacharya offered an asan for the Lord to sit upon, and both of them sat there. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the prasadam and placed it in the hands of the Bhattacharya. Prasadana Paya Bhattacharya Rananda Hoila Snana Sandhya Danta Dhabana Jajapina Koila. At that time, the Bhattacharya had not even washed his mouth, nor had he taken his bath or finished his morning duties. Nonetheless, he was very pleased to receive the prasadam of Lord Jagannath. Chaitanya Prasade Manera Sab Jadyagela Ashloka Pariyana Bhakana Korila. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the dullness in the mind of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was eradicated. After reciting the following 2 verses, he ate the prasadam offered to him. Shushkam paryushitam vapi nitam vaduradeshata prapti matrena bhuktavyam natrakala vicharana. The Bhattacharya said one should take the Mahaprasadam of the Lord immediately upon receiving it, even though it is dried up. Still, or brought from a distant country. One should consider neither time nor place. Nadesha niyamas tatra nakala niyamas tata praptam anam jutam shishtar bhoktavyam harer abravit. The prasadam of Lord Krishna is to be eaten by gentlemen as soon as it is received. There should be no hesitation. There are no regulative principles concerning time and place. This is the order of the Supreme Lord. These verses are quoted from the Padma Purana. So as soon as he received it, although he had not bathed or anything, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya ate that prasadam offered by Mahaprabhu. Deki anandita hoila Mahaprabhu Raman, Prema Vishta hoya Prabhu koila alingan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to see this. He became ecstatic in love of Godhead and embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Duwijane dore duhe korana nartan Prabhu Britya duha sparshe dohara fuleman. The Lord and the servant embraced each other and began to dance. Simply by touching each other, they became ecstatic. Sweta kampa shuduhe anande basila prema vishta hoya Prabhu kohite lagila. As they danced and embraced, spiritual symptoms manifested in their bodies. They perspired, trembled, and shed tears, and the Lord began to speak in his ecstasy. Ajimui anayase jininu tribhuvan, ajimui korinu Vaikunta Arohan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Today I have conquered the three worlds very easily. Today I have ascended to Vaikunta." Ajimora Purna Hoila Sarva Abhilas Sarva Bhomer Hoila Mahaprasade Vishwas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, "I think that today all my desires have been fulfilled because I see that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has acquired faith in the Mahaprasadam of Lord Jagannath. Ajitumi Nikapate Hoila Krishna Shrai Krishna Aji Nishkapate Toma Hoila Sadai." Indeed, today you have undoubtedly taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, and Krishna without reservation has become very merciful toward you. Ajise Kandila Tomar Dehadi Bandana Ajitumi China Koile Mayara Bandana. My dear Bhattacharya, today you have been released from material bondage in the bodily conception of life. You have cut to pieces the shackles of the illusory energy. Aji Krishna Prapti Jogya Hoila Tomarman Veda Dharma Lanhik Koile Prasadana Bakan. Today your mind has become fit to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna because, surpassing the Vedic regulative principles, you have eaten the remnants of food offered to the Lord. Yesham Saisham Bhagavan Dayayed Ananta Sarvat Manashrita Pado Yadi Nirvyalikam Te Dushtaram Atitaranti Chadeva Mayam Naisham Maham Iti Diswa Shrigalabhakye. Yesham Saisha Bhagavan Daya Yedananda Sarvatmana Shrita Pada Yadi Nirvyalikam Te Dushtaram Atitaranti Chadeva Mayam Naisham Maham Iti Diswa Shrigalabhakye. When a person takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead without reservation, the unlimited merciful Lord bestows his causeless mercy upon him. Thus he can pass over the insurmountable ocean of nescience. Those whose intelligence is fixed in the bodily conception, who think, "I am this body," are fit food for dogs and jackals. The Supreme Lord never bestows his mercy upon such people. Itakohe Mahaprabhu Aila Nijastane Se Hoite Bhattacharya Kandila Abhimane. After speaking to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence. From that day on, the Bhattacharya was free because his false pride had been dismantled. Chaitanya Charitamrita nahi janayan Bhakti binu shastrara nakore vyakyan. From that day on, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya did not know anything but the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And from that day on, he could explain the revealed scriptures only in accordance with the process of devotional service. Gopinathacharya Tara Vaishnavata Dekya Hari Hari Bolinache Hate Talidiya. Seeing that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was firmly fixed in the cult of Vaishnavism, Gopinathacharya, his brother-in-law, began to dance, clap his hands, and chant Hari Hari. Aradin Bhattacharya Aila Darshane Jagannatha Nadeki Aila Prabhustane. The next day, the Bhattacharya went to visit the temple of Lord Jagannath. But before he reached the temple, he went to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dandavat Kore Koila Bahu Bida Stuti Danya Kore Kohe Nija Purva Durmati. When he met Mahaprabhu, the Bhattacharya fell down flat to offer him respects. After offering various prayers to him, he spoke of his previous bad disposition with great humility. Bhakti sadhana shreshta shunite hoilaman Prabhu upadesha hoila nama sankirtan. Then the Bhattacharya asked Mahaprabhu which item is most important in the execution of devotional service. The Lord replied that the most important item was the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Mahaprabhu replied that Nam Sankirtan is the most important item of devotional service. Hare Nama eva kevalam kalo nashteva gatiranyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Aishlokararta Shunaila Koriya Vishtar Shunibara Charjamane Hoila Chamatkar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very elaborately explained the Hare Nama verse of the Brihanaradiya Purana, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was struck with wonder to hear his explanation. Gopinathacharya Bole Ami Purve Jay Kohila Shunabhattacharya Tomar Seta Hoila. Gopinathacharya reminded Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, my dear Bhattacharya, what I foretold to you has now taken place. Bhattacharya Kohetare Kori Namaskare Tomara Sambande Prabhu Kripa Koila More. Offering his obeisances to Gopinathacharya, the Bhattacharya said, because I am related to you and you are a devotee, by your mercy the Lord has shown mercy to me. Tumi Maha Bhagavata Ami Tarkande Prabhu Kripa Koila More Tomara Sambande. You are a first-class devotee, whereas I am in the darkness of logical arguments. Because of your relationship with the Lord has bestowed his benediction upon me. Vinoy Shuni Tushte Prabhu Hoila Alingan Kohila Jana Koraha Ishvara Darshan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased with this humble statement. After embracing the Bhattacharya, he said, now go see Lord Jagannath in the temple. Jagadananda Damodar Dui Sangiloya Gari Aila Bhattacharya Jagannatha Dekiya. After visiting the temple of Lord Jagannath, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya returned home with Jagannananda and Damodar Pandit. Uttama Prasada Bahuta Anila Nijabipra Hate Dui Jana Sangedila. The Bhattacharya brought large quantities of excellent food remnants blessed by Lord Jagannath. All this prasadam was given to his own Brahmin servant along with Jagannatha and Damodar. Nija Krita Duishlok Lakia Talapate Prabhuke Diha Bole Dila Jagannatha Hate. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then composed 2 verses on the leaf of a palm tree. Giving the palm leaf to Jagannatha Prabhu, the Bhattacharya requested him to deliver it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu stane Ailadu he Prasara Patriloya Mukunda Data Patrinila Tarahate Paya. Jagannatha and Damodar then returned to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, bringing him both the prasadam and the palm leaf on which the verses were composed. But Mukunda Datta took the palm leaf from the hands of Jagannatha before he could deliver it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dui shloka bahir bite likiyar rakila tabe Jagannatha patre prabhu ke loya dila. Mukunda Datta then copied the 2 verses on the wall outside the room. After this, Jagannatha took the palm leaf from Mukunda Datta and delivered it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu shloka paripatra chindiya velila bityedeki bhaktasab shloka kante koila. As soon as Mahaprabhu read the 2 verses, he immediately tore up the palm leaf. However, all the devotees read these verses on the outside wall, and they all kept them within their hearts. The verses read as follows. So Mukunda Datta copied the verses on the wall before the palm leaf would be given to Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, but he doesn't like to show himself that way, and he doesn't like to be addressed that way. Rather, he presents himself as a devotee of the Lord. So because these verses are glorifying Mahaprabhu, then Mukunda Datta could tell that Mahaprabhu in his humility would not want them broadcast, but still, so that the devotees could benefit from the verses composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Mukunda Datta wrote them on the wall outside the room before the palm leaf with the verses on it could be handed to Mahaprabhu inside. And here are the 2 verses. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartam Eka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Charitamrita Kripambudera Yam Yastamaham Prapadye Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Charitamrita Kripambudera Yastam Aham Prapadye. This is the first verse. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. I'll repeat that. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. This verse and the following verse are included in the Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka by Sri Kavi Karnapur. So the second verse composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is what I will read now. Kalanashtam bhakti yogam nijamya pradushkartum Krishna Chaitanya nama avirbhutas tasya padaravinde gadam gadam liyatam shittabringa kalanashtam bhakti yogam nijamya pradushkartum Krishna Chaitanya nama avirbhutas tasya padaravinde garam garam liyatam chitta-bringa. That my consciousness, which is like a honeybee, takes shelter of the lotus feet, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach the ancient system of devotional service to him. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time. Let my consciousness, which is like a honeybee, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach the ancient system of devotional service to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time. Edui shloka bhakta kante ratnahar Sarvabhauma kirti goshe daka badhyakar. These two verses composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya will always declare his name and fame as loudly as a pounding drum, for they have become pearl necklaces around the necks of all devotees. Sarvabhauma hoila prabhur bhakta ekathan Mahaprabhu Seva bina nahi janiyan. Indeed, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became an unalloyed devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not know anything but the service of the Lord. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sachi Sutta Gunadam Edhyana Ejapa Loya Enam. The Bhattacharya always chanted the holy name of Shri Krishna Chaitanya, son of Mother Sachi and reservoir of all good qualities. Indeed, chanting the holy names became his meditation. Ek din Sarvabhauma Prabhu age aila namaskara kore shloka parite lagila. One day Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya came before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and after offering obeisances began to recite a verse. Bhagavater Brahmastaver Shloka Parilash Shloka Seshe Dui Akara Bhata Virailai. He began to quote one of Lord Brahma's prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam, but he changed two syllables at the end of the verse. Tate nukampam susamikshamano punjana evatma kritam vipakam ridvag vapurbir vidadan namaste Shiveta yo bhakti pade sadaya bhak. The Bhattacharya recited, one who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with his mind, words, and body, and who always offers obeisances unto you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for becoming your unalloyed devotee. So here are the verses. Tate nukampam susamikshamano bunjane vatma kritam vipakam ridvag vapurbir vidadan namaste jiveta yo bhakti pade sadaya bhak. But originally the real verse doesn't have bhakti pade. The word that's in the verse is mukti pade. And tate nukampam susamikshamano bunjane vatma kritam vipakam ridvag vapurbir vidadan namaste jivet yo mukti pade sadaya bhak. That's the verse from the Bhagavatam, but Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had changed mukti pade to bhakti pade. Prabhu kohe mukti pade iha parta hoy bhakti pade kene pada ki tomara ashai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately pointed out, in that verse the word is mukti pade, but you have changed it to bhakti pade. What is your intention? Bhattacharya kohe bhakti sama nahi mukti val bhagavad bhakti vimukera hoy danda kevala. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, the awakening of pure love of Godhead, which is the result of devotional service, far surpasses liberation from material bondage. For those averse to devotional service, merging into the Brahman effulgence is a kind of punishment. The Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, the awakening of pure love of Godhead, which is the result of devotional service, far surpasses liberation from material bondage. For those averse to devotional service, merging into the Brahman effulgence is a kind of punishment. Krishnara vigrahaje satyana himane jaininda juda dika kore tarasane se dvirlas danda hoy brahma sayuja mukti tara mukti falana he jay kore bhakti. The Bhattacharya continued, the impersonalists who do not accept the transcendental form of Lord Shri Krishna and the demons who are always engaged in blaspheming and fighting with him are punished by being merged into the Brahman effulgence. But that does not happen to the person engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So now, before Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was an impersonalist, but now he has been so staunchly converted by Mahaprabhu that he hates mukti, and he says, demons who are killed by the Lord and the impersonalists, they both merge into the impersonal Brahman effulgence. But that doesn't happen to devotees. So he says that kind of losing of one's identity and merging into the Brahman effulgence is like hell, is like a punishment. Jadapi se mukte hoy pancha parakar salokya samipya sarupya sharshti sayuja ar. There are 5 kinds of liberation: salokya, samipya, sarupya, sharshti, and sayuja. Salokya means that after a liberation one is promoted to the planet where the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides. Samipya means remaining an associate of the Lord. Sarupya means attaining a 4-handed form exactly like that of the Lord. Sharshti means attaining opulences like those of the Supreme Lord. And Sayuja means merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. These are the 5 types of liberation. So of those, the impersonalists, they attain Sayuja, merging into the form of the Lord. That means attaining the Brahma Jyoti. Salok jadi, chari jadi, hoy, seva dwar, tabu, karachit, bhakta kori angikar. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya continues, if there is a chance to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a pure devotee sometimes accepts the Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, or Sharshti forms of liberation, but never Sayuja, never merging into the Lord. Sayuja sunite bhaktero hoy grinabai, naraka banchaye tabu Sayuja naloy. A pure devotee does not like to even hear about Sayuja Mukti, which inspires him with fear and hatred. Indeed, the pure devotee would rather go to hell than merge into the effulgence of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada Saraswati has sung Kaivalyam Narakayate. The impersonalist conception of becoming one with the effulgence of the Lord is exactly like hell. Therefore, of the 5 types of liberation, the first 4, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sharshti, are not so undesirable because they can be avenues of service to the Lord. Nonetheless, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna rejects even these types of liberation. He aspires only to serve Krishna birth after birth. He is not very interested in stopping the repetition of birth, for he simply desires to serve the Lord even in hellish circumstances. Consequently, the pure devotee hates and fears Sayuja Mukti, merging into the effulgence of the Lord. Thus, this merging is due to an offense committed against the transcendental loving service of the Lord, and therefore it is not at all desirable for a pure devotee. Brahme Ishware Sayuja Duita Prakar, Brahma Sayuja Hoite Ishwara Sayuja Dikar. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya continued, there are 2 kinds of Sayuja Mukti, merging into the Brahman effulgence and merging into the personal body of the Lord. Merging into the Lord's body is even more abominable than merging into his effulgence. because that merging into the body of the Lord is even more the loss of one's individual existence. Those in the Brahmajyoti, they remain there in a state of like inaction, but eventually they awaken again and they come down to the material platform. But those merge into the existence, into the body of the Lord. That is, according to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, that is more inescapable loss of one's identity. Salokya sharsti samipa sarupyai katvam apiyuta diyamanam nagrinanti vinamat sevanam jana. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya concluded, even though he has offered all kinds of liberation, the pure devotee does not accept him. He is fully satisfied, engaging in the service of the Lord. So I'll read something of this. It's a little bit this purport about these two forms of liberation. According to the opinion of the Mayavadi Vedantists, the living entity's ultimate success is to merge into the impersonal Brahman. The impersonal Brahman, or bodily effulgence of the Supreme Lord, is known as Brahmaloka or Siddhaloka. According to the Brahma Samhita, Yasha Prabha Prabhavato Jagaranda Koti, the material universes are generated from the bodily rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yogis who follow the principles of Patanjali accept the personality of the Absolute Truth, but they want to merge into the transcendental body of the Supreme Lord. That is their desire. Being the greatest authority, the Supreme Lord can easily allow many millions of living entities to merge into his body. The origin of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, and his bodily effulgence is known as the Brahmajyoti, Brahmaloka, or Siddhaloka. The Brahmaloka or Siddhaloka is a place where many spark-like living entities, parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, are assembled. Because these living entities do not wish to keep their individual existences, they are combined and allowed to remain in Brahmaloka like so many atomic particles of sunshine emanating from the sun. The word Siddha is very significant. Siddha refers to one who has realized the Brahmana effulgence and who has complete knowledge that the living entity is not a material atom, but a spiritual spark. This understanding is described in the Bhagavad Gita as Brahmabhuta. In the conditioned state, the living entity is known as Jiva-bhuta, or the living force within matter. Brahmabhuta living entities are allowed to stay in Brahmaloka or Siddhaloka, but unfortunately they sometimes again fall into the material world because they are not engaged in devotional service. This is supported by the verse in Srimad Bhagavatam beginning Yenye Ravindaksha. These semi-liberated souls falsely claim to be liberated, but unless one engages in devotional service to the Lord, he is still materially contaminated. Therefore, these living entities have been described as vimukta manina, meaning that they falsely consider themselves liberated, although their intelligence is not yet purified. Although these living entities undergo severe austerities to rise to the platform of Siddhaloka, they cannot remain there perpetually, for they are bereft of Ananda bliss. Even though these living entities attain the Brahmabhuta stage and realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through his bodily effulgence, they nonetheless fall down due to neglecting the Lord's service. They do not properly utilize whatever little knowledge they have of the Supreme Lord. Not attaining Ananda or bliss, they come down to the material world to enjoy. This is certainly a fall down for one who is actually liberated. The Bhaktas consider such a fall down equal to achieving a place in hell. The followers of the Patanjali yoga system actually want to merge into the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This indicates that they do not want to engage in his service despite their knowledge of him, and thus their position is even more abominable than that of those who want to merge into the Lord's effulgence. These yogis meditate on the four-handed Vishnu form of the Lord in order to merge into his body. The Patanjali system describes the form of the Lord as klesha karma, vipaka shayar, aparamish. Oh, let me read this again. The Patanjali system describes the form of the Lord as klesha karma, vipaka shayar, aparamrishta, purusha vishesha ishvara. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person who does not partake of a miserable material life. The yogis accept the eternity of the Supreme Lord in one of their mantras, Sapurveshamapi Guru Kalana Vachedat. Such a person is always supreme and is not influenced by the element of time. The followers of the Patanjali system therefore accept the eternity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet according to them, Purushartha Shunyanam Prati Prashava Kaivalyam Sarupra Pratishta Va Chitti Shakti Riti. They believed that in the perfectional stage the conception of Purusha is vanquished. According to their description, Chitti Shakti Riti, they believe that when one becomes perfect, one cannot remain a person. This yoga system is therefore abominable because its final conception is impersonal. In the beginning, these yogis accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they ultimately give up this idea in order to become impersonal. They are most unfortunate because although they have a personal conception of the absolute truth, they neglect to render devotional service to the Lord and thus fall down again into the material world. As mentioned above, this idea is supported by Srimad Bhagavatam, Aruya Krichena Parapadam Tata Patanti Ado Nadrita Yushmadangraya. Due to neglecting the lotus feet of the Lord, these yogis again fall down into the material existence, Patantiyada. Consequently, this path of yoga is more abominable than the impersonalist path. This conclusion is also supported by Lord Kapila Dev in the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is all explanation of the statement Brahma Ishware Sayuja Duita Prakar, Brahma Sayuja Hoite, Ishwara Sayuja Dikar. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya continued, there are two kinds of Sayuja Mukti, merging into the Brahman effulgence and merging into the impersonal body of the Lord. Merging into the Lord's body is even more abominable than merging into his effulgence. And it's explained here that those yogis who do so merge into the body of the Lord. At first, they accept the Lord as a person, and then they ultimately want to become him. So that is very abominable. It looks like, from the beginning, it looks like they may have some idea of bhakti or of service to the Lord or understanding of the Lord, but then ultimately their conclusion is they want to merge into or become the Lord. Salokya Sharsti Samipya Sarup Yaikatvam Apiyuta Diyamanam Nagrinanti Vinamat Sevanam Jana. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya continued, even though he has offered all kinds of liberation, the pure devotee does not accept them. He is fully satisfied, engaging in the service of the Lord. Prabhu kohe mukti pader ara arta hoy mukti paras shabde shakat ishvara kahoy. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, the word muktipade has another meaning. Muktipad directly refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Muktipade jara se muktipad hoy kimva navama padartam muktera samashroy. All kinds of liberation exist under the feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is known as Muktipad. According to another meaning, Mukti is the ninth subject, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the shelter of liberation. So now, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was previously an impersonalist, hated even the sound of the word mukti, of liberation. But Mahaprabhu says that doesn't mean you change words of the Srimad Bhagavatam, because the Lord is Muktipada. All kinds of liberation exist under his lotus feet. Duyarta Krishna kohe kene pata firi, Sarvabhauma kohe a pata kohite na pari. So the word refers not to specifically liberation, but refers to the Supreme Lord, who is Muktipade. Since I can understand Krishna according to these two meanings, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what is the point? What point is there in changing the verse? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, I was not able to give that reading to the verse. Chajapi tomararta e shabde goy tatapi aslisha doshe kahana najai. Although your explanation is correct, it should not be used because there is ambiguity in the word muktipada. Although your explanation is correct, it should not be used because there is ambiguity in the word muktipada. So this is some humor between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Mahaprabhu in changing the Bhagavatam from Muktipade to Bhaktipade. Jajapi mukti shabder hoy panchabriti rude britye kohe tabu sayuja pratiti. The word mukti refers to 5 kinds of liberation, but its direct meaning usually conveys the idea of becoming one with the Lord. Mukti shabda kohe te mane hoy grinatras, bhakti shabda kohe te mane hoy ta ulas. The very sound of the word mukti immediately induces hate and fear, but when we say the word bhakti, we naturally feel transcendental bliss within the mind. So now Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, the very sound of the word mukti immediately induces hate and fear. But when we say the word bhakti, we naturally feel transcendental bliss within the mind. So this means he had become completely, 100% converted by Mahaprabhu. From impersonalist, now he's so staunch a follower of Mahaprabhu that he cannot stand the sound of the word mukti. Shuniya hasana Prabhu anandita mane Bhattacharya koila Prabhu drida lingane. Upon hearing this explanation, the Lord began to laugh, and with great pleasure immediately embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya very firmly. Jai Bhattacharya Pade Padaya Maya Bade Tara Aiche Bhakya Svure Chaitanya Prasade. Indeed, that very person who had been accustomed to reading and teaching Mayavad philosophy was now even hating the word mukti. This was possible only by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lohake javat sparshe hemanahi kore tavat sparsha manike chinite napare. As long as it does not turn iron into gold by its touch, no one can recognize an unknown stone to be a touchstone. Bhattacharya Vaishnavata Deki Sarvajan Prabhu Ke Janila Sakat Prajendranandan. Upon seeing transcendental Vaishnavism in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, everyone could understand that Lord Chaitanya was none other than Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Kashi Mishra Arijat Nilachalabasi Sharana Loila Sabe Prabhupada Asi. After this incident, all the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri, headed by Kashi Mishra, came to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is very significant. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is the king's personal pandit. He's so renowned in Jagannath Puri. And after he has been converted by Mahaprabhu, everyone recognizes Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord and wants to take shelter of his lotus feet. After this incident, all the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri, headed by Kashi Mishra, came to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Sesab Katage Koriba Varnan Sarvabhauma Korijache Prabhura Sevan. Later I shall describe how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya always engaged in the service of the Lord. Jaichi Paripate Kore Bika Nirbahan Vishtarya Getaha Koriva Varnan. I shall also describe in full detail how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya perfectly rendered service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by offering him alms. E Mahaprabhu Lila Sarvabhaum Milan Ihaje Shradakore Koraye Shravan Gyanakarma Pasha Hoite Hoi Vimochan Achire Milaye Tare Chaitanya Charan. If one hears with faith and love these pastimes concerning Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, one is very soon freed from the net of speculation and fruitive activity and attains the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Sri Rupa Raghunath Parijara Ash, Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas, praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadas narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila, 6th chapter, describing the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Okay, so when, and here and now, chant. Hari Hara. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Maranama. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Echai Gosai Kori Chanana Bandhan. Jaoite Vignana Shabishta Puran. Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas. Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas. Tasava Badarenu Mora Panchagras. Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Janame Janame More Ambilas. Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Radha Krishna Madhya-lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamadan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Juki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Sunanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsi Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Bol. So tomorrow at our Sunday feast we'll celebrate the divine appearance day of Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj.